We are presented by Yeti.
Jalen Brunson, he got it! I like what I'm seeing. Feeling the groove. Scintillating move. Bullseye! Some Mitchell madness.
Roller coaster for sure. The journey shows you who you are.
The Stars will be on the floor as well as Celebrity Row as Game 1 of the NBA's Eastern Conference Finals is set for tomorrow night. That's our series this year. The ESA will have all the games on ESPN or ABC depending on the night. So let's start by diving into that. Starting tomorrow night, Windman, what's the number one thing you'll be watching for at the Garden as this series gets underway?
How does the Cavs defense, which frankly is the weakest defense remaining of the four teams, how do they handle the onslaught that has been the Knicks with the basketball over the last month? New York was already a top 5 offense in the league during the regular season. The style that they bring offensively with Karl Towns in the high post has supercharged them. And the Cavs just frankly, after the James Harden trade, not that it was all on him, just didn't defend as well down the stretch of the season. So look, the Cavs got to keep this game within range. The Cavs have a potent offense, but they cannot win, in my opinion, an all-out arms race with the Knicks.
I'm looking at that number, Jay Will, at the bottom of the screen. 80% chance to win the series. I'm not surprised the Knicks are favored. They have looked so good in these playoffs, and they have a huge advantage in rest. 80% is a big number. Do you see this as going in as a decided Knicks advantage in this series?
Like I said, I think I have the Knicks in 5.
Yeah.
I can also simplify this because I think we'll have a lot of time to actually break down the details. Like, don't forget, Donovan Mitchell is from Greenwich, Connecticut. Donovan Mitchell wanted to be a Knick. Donovan Mitchell wanted to come back home. Jalen Brunson was the guy that got there first. So there's a lot of this going into the feeling of what the Garden is going to have. Because Donovan Mitchell wants the lights, right? Will that take away from what they do? Will that help what they do? I still think the Knicks are a better team offensively and defensively. And this is a series where I think James Harden can get exposed off the ball.
Talk about the matchups, Monica, a little bit. I'll remind everyone again, as I always do, Monica does the Knick games on the radio, so you know them as well as they can be known. Styles make fights. What are the styles here? How do these teams match up with each other as you see it?
Well, I think Jay nailed it because in this new offense, yes, it's about Karl-Anthony Towns as a centerpiece, but there's also so much off-ball movement, right? And so last night as we were preparing for this one, I'm like, okay, who's going to struggle with that? I think Merrill, Wade, Strus there, guarding their butts off there, doing what they're supposed to do as role players. But to go after and target where you're going to have some soft spots, Donovan Mitchell, while he competes, is not the biggest defender there, right? And then James Harden tends to be a little bit slow-footed. But this is where, to me, the way that the Knicks are playing on both sides of the basketball is important to call out. They've been defending at such a high level. And if OG Anunoby is healthy, which all signs indicate he'll be ready for Game 1, they really, I think, to me, can put more pressure on Cleveland defensively than Cleveland can do the other way.
I think it comes down to when you look at a series like this, how many ways can you win a game? How many ways can you shape-shift yourself into being something? We haven't even talked about Jalen Brunson iso ball in the last 5 minutes of the game. We haven't had to see it because the Knicks have blown everybody out by 40-plus points in every game since they have shifted this offense. Karl Towns has unlocked OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, who was on the verge of being benched after Game 3 of that series. Like, this is completely unlocked in a way that Mike Brown, he's coached with Draymond Green and Domantas Sabonis. But Karl Towns is a completely different offensive talent than both of those players. He's able to sort of deploy his entire playbook, and you have nobody that can guard him.
And we'll put the picks up on the screen. And look, at the risk of putting even more pressure on a Knicks team that already obviously has to feel it because their fans have waited 53 years to see this team win a championship, it could not have set up better. They get the Sixers, who are coming off a 7-game war with the Celtics and absolutely no time to rest, and the Knicks had home court advantage. And now spin it again, they get the Cavs, who are coming off a 7-game battle, albeit Game 7 was sort of an easier one against Detroit here, and they have no time to rest before Game 1, and the Knicks have home court advantage. It sets up so well for the Knicks.
It's also like these narratives that have followed this team, in particular Mikal Bridges, right, in the 4 first-round picks he got traded for. Now look at that that matchup opportunity he has against Donovan Mitchell,
Yeah.
right? Where he's had success before because of his size and his length. It kind of makes you rethink what that trade was for. It's built for this moment right now to get to the NBA Finals.
Yeah, and Greeny, you started that statement about the pressure. I can think back to October. This is before James Dolan said what he said in January. Like, those guys, the experience of last year, who also felt like things are aligning just so, and they fell apart down the stretch, like, they understand this moment. So there ain't no pressure. They got to perform.
All right, game one is tomorrow night right here on ESPN, and the ESPN app. Tip-off is 8 Eastern. Coverage will begin with NBA tip-off with Ernie and Kenny and Shaq and Charles. They'll be on at 7 Eastern, and then they'll be on after the game as long as they want to go. So you will get a full dose of those guys before and after.
Of his career. Now here come the Knicks. Congratulations. Here comes New York. They entered this season as the two teams with the shortest odds to win the Eastern Conference, according to DraftKings Sportsbook. And now they will be meeting in the conference finals after all is said and done. Here is Mitchell on facing his hometown Knicks.
Yeah, me and my fiance joked that we'd be at home regardless, right? So we might as well play some basketball while we're at the crib. So, no, it's going to be special for sure. But they are a talented team. They obviously it starts with Jalen Brunson and Cat, but Mikal and OG have been phenomenal. Josh Hart, you look at their bench, has been great. So, we know them obviously, but I think the biggest thing is they've been off for they got a bunch of rest. So we got to be ready to go from the jump from game one. And to that point is it's great. Yeah, I get to play at home, woo, but like doesn't matter. We got to be locked in and ready to go. And I know we will be, and they're a tough team, and we're excited.
Senior NBA reporter Brian Windhorst, always locked in, joins the program this morning. Windy, great to see you. The Knicks won 2 of the 3 meetings versus the Cavs in the regular season, but how will this series be different?
I'm throwing those regular season games out. The Knicks are playing vastly different basketball. They're a different style, using Karl Anthony Towns way more as offensive generation. The last time they played, James Harden had only been with the Cavs a short time. The Cavs play completely differently with James Harden. And frankly, these two teams are both coming off totally different approaches to this series. The Cavs have survived 2 7-game series where they faced elimination multiple times, whereas the Knicks have been sitting around for a week and a half after going through their best basketball of the season. This is really a hard series to forecast. I'm really going to ask to watch game 1 and then have a better opportunity to figure out where this might go.
Okay, let's throw out the regular season there. The regular season for SGA rewarded yesterday as Shams Charania actually joined us on the program and broke that news. The Thunder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, named the MVP for the 2nd consecutive season. He's getting 83 of the 100 first-place votes. Some, myself included, surprised to see Victor Wembanyama finishing 3rd in the voting behind SGA and Nikola Jokic. Windy, you have a vote for MVP. Who did you vote for and why?
I voted for Shai, although I had Victor 2nd. I was also surprised at the spread there between 2nd and 3rd. But Shai had a fabulous season. He had the best shooting season of his career. 56% for a guy who most of his shots are from mid and long range. He was absolutely killer in the clutch. He already won the Jerry West Award this year for the Clutch Player of the Year. And remember, Jalen Williams missed all but 33 games this season. So he put the Thunder on his back numerous times and got them to the #1 seed. A very deserving MVP, and will definitely, this is Shai's era of the NBA. The real question is, can he back it up with the 2nd Finals MVP?
All right, well, first they have to get through Victor Wembanyama, who finished 3rd in the MVP voting, and, of course, the San Antonio Spurs. Game 1 tonight. Wendy, what are you looking forward to watching most in tonight's Game 1?
When I saw how this was going to play out, that Victor Wembanyama was going to be there in Oklahoma City when Shai actually gets the award from the commissioner, I was transported back to when I was 17 years old, guys. I will never forget Hakeem Olajuwon versus David Robinson. Robinson gets the MVP. The Spurs were the #1 overall seed. The defending champion and defending MVP was Hakeem. He dropped, this was in the Western Conference Finals. By the way, the Spurs were favored. The Keem had 41 in this game after seeing Robinson. All these great highlights, the Dream Shake. This all came out of that series where he dominated Robinson. Now Robinson had 35 that night. Don't get me wrong; it was still a great game. But Hakeem averaged 35 in the series. I cannot wait to see how Victor Wembanyama takes this challenge, because I know how he feels about himself and the confidence of where he feels in the game. And really, the underlying thing in this whole Spurs-Thunder series, I believe, and many believe, this is going to be Victor Wembanyama's league at some point. The question is it Victor Wembanyama's league already? We're going to find out, I think, over the next 2 weeks.
All right, Thunder 6.5-point favorites tonight. I remember a similar scenario with Karl Malone getting the MVP in front of Michael Jordan in the finals. And I remember Jordan being like, I took that personally. Windy, thank you, sir.
Yeah.